everyone, welcome to YesterKitchen. I'm Jill, and today we're going to talk about Thanksgiving. I wasn't going to do a Thanksgiving show because the history of Thanksgiving, well, it goes way farther back than what I like to stay in, and we all know the history of Thanksgiving. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll highlight a dish that, nobody really knows, kind of like an out-of-the-box dish, and I researched so many, and none of them really said, pick me. So I thought, I'm not going to do one. And then I got a link from my friend Dave. Thank you, Dave. And he let me know that the lady that invented the dish that we're going to talk about had recently passed away. So I thought, well, this is perfect because this is one of the quintessential dishes on the Thanksgiving table. And it's easy and it's good. And there's so many variations that I don't even know how many there are. But what are we here for? We're here to learn the classic original recipe. So we're going to talk about the green bean casserole, or as it was originally called, the green bean bake. So it was invented in 1955 by a lady named Dorcas Riley, D-O-R-C-A-S. I'm not exactly sure if it's Dorcas or Darcus, but we're just going to go with Dorcas. And she had a team. At the time, she was the test kitchen supervisor at Campbell's. And she had a team, so it wasn't just her that created this dish. She had her team, but since she was in charge, she gets the credit. So in 1955, an Associated Press reporter came up to her and said, can you come up with a recipe that's easy for the holidays? And she's like, of course I can. Darcus was pretty awesome. She was also credited with creating the tomato soup cake from Campbell's, and also creating the Sloppy Joe recipe using tomato soup. So she had some really big hits under her belt, but nothing compared to the green bean casserole. I mean, how many of you have made it? How many of you like it? There's probably a few that don't, but this is a classic. So she came up with this recipe along with her team, and it was printed in 1955. And at first, when her team tried it, they didn't like it. But she kept pushing because she knew she had a hit on her hands. And finally, in 1960, it was printed on the label of cream of mushroom soup, and it exploded. And today, it's probably going to make an appearance at about 20 million plus tables this Thanksgiving, or any Thanksgiving. So let's get started with the original recipe, and I've got a few more fun facts for you. So what do we do? Well, first we need green beans. Yeah, I took off the label. Okay, I pick at labels. So the original recipe had French green beans, and we're going to put them in here, and I'm going to show you a little close up. So these are French green beans. They're kind of like shoestring kind of cuts. And you want 2 cans of French green beans. And why French green beans? I never really figured out the notes, but my assumption is it absorbs the sauce and everything better. But since then, cut green beans have been used, frozen green beans, fresh steamed green beans, they're all good. But this is the original. So, and actually, it really does hold the sauce better. So, to these happy little green beans, we're gonna take 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. And we're gonna get that in there. And we're gonna mix it around. Just like that, and make it all happy and pretty and everyone's swimming together. Look at that. I know you know the recipe. I think we all know the recipe. Did you know that 40% of Campbell's cream of mushroom soup sales goes to making this dish? 40%. Is that insane? Okay. Next, we're going to add 1/2 cup of milk. I use the whole milk for these retro recipes because that's pretty much the popular one. They're not the non-fat or the reduced fat. You're welcome to use them, but the original recipe needs whole milk. So in we go. Look at that. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. And that's going to give it just that salt we need. And then we're going to add a dash of pepper. Now we're going to mix it around. The idea behind this dish was something she wanted to find a dish where you could make something out of things that were already in your pantry. Today, I don't know how many people actually have those little French fried onions just hanging out in their pantry. And I had a hard time with my research finding out just how prevalent it was back then, but I'm guessing since it's in the recipe, it was probably more popular then. And now it just like totally comes to the party during Thanksgiving. I mean, come on, you go to your market, there's all the French onions, there's all the cream and mushroom soups. What do they think they want you to make? Oh, and the little green beans are all together. It's just like a one-stop shop. So now to this, oops, sorry. To this we're gonna add We're gonna add 2/3 cups of our little French onions. See, you know the ones, they come in the can and they're just delicious and you can easily eat the whole can with nothing else. So in we go, and we're gonna mix all that together. And then it's pretty much in the oven. I've got an oven heating at 350, and you're gonna cook your little casserole for 25 to 30 minutes. Here we have, oh, I'm man down. Here we have our little casserole dish. And we're gonna pour our little green bean mixture into it. Look at that. That's just beautiful and classic and 100% history. So I'm gonna bake our little casserole, and then we're gonna take it out. We're gonna sprinkle the remaining container of the green beans, not the green beans, the onions on top, and bake it for another 5 minutes. But I'll come back and show you that so you don't miss a beat. I'll be back in a few. Hey, we're back, and look at our little casserole. Isn't she gorgeous? She's all brown and bubbly and just super happy out of the oven. So the only thing left to do is take our remaining onions and put them on the casserole, and we're gonna throw it back in the oven for 5 minutes, and we're golden. And this way they get all crispy and crunchy. There's 2 schools of thought, well, maybe there's more, but I'm gonna tell you 2 for topping your casserole. One is where we take the onions and we just kind of put them around the outside so it looks pretty and you can see the casserole inside. So we've got that school of thought. You get the idea, go all the way around. And then we have the other school of thought, the more the merrier, where we just kind of take our onions, make sure everyone's in the pool and everyone gets on there, like that. That's my happy place, because you know you want crunchy in every bite, because it's a very wet casserole. So Darcus Riley passed away just a few weeks ago, October 15th, 2018. And she left us a legacy. And she went on to continue to demonstrate the green bean casserole, talk about it, promote it, represent Campbell's for years. And everyone loved her. And she really was a very humble woman, not super into the limelight, but she was thrown into it and she did it in a very classy way. And in 2005, she donated her original recipe card that she used to create the casserole to the Inventors Hall of Fame. So she's in there with Thomas Edison. Really, she's left a legacy. So thank you, Darcus, so much for your contribution to food history. You were truly a pioneer, truly amazing. And now we're gonna get this into the oven. But before we do that, let's talk about a few other options that are out there. There's so many. I'm sure your family has their own variation of this casserole, but people add garlic, they add bacon, my personal favorite. They add cheese, they add almonds. Sometimes they even switch out the vegetable. Get rid of the green beans, add peas, add corn, add your favorite vegetable. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the classic. So let's get it in the oven for 5 minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, so our casserole is out of the oven and look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? She's all golden brown and pretty and ready for that party. So before I go, I just want to stop and thank you for your support. My channel is growing and I have so many great stories to tell you. So if you would and you haven't done it yet, please go ahead and click subscribe, and then you'll know when every new video is released. And also click like for the video if you like it. And please leave your comments. I would love to hear your variations of green bean casserole. I would love to hear your Thanksgiving stories. I love reading and getting to know everyone. So let's take a look at our little casserole. Let's serve her up and see how good she is. We know how good she is because Darkus made sure this was simple and easy and economical. And that's what 50s casseroles were all about. They were just customizable, economical, filling, one-pan wonders, just super easy. And I've noticed that casseroles are making a comeback and there's amazing recipes out there. Well, thank you 1950s for giving us the casserole, because without you, we wouldn't have them now. So let's take a look at our beautiful casserole. I'm gonna move it out of the way a little bit so I can serve some up so I can have some lunch, because it's not Thanksgiving quite yet. I'll be making it again. Have you made your menu yet? I have. Okay, so let's go ahead and, whoop. Sorry, this plate is very, very hot. But here we go. Oh, look at this gorgeous, gorgeous thing. We've got our casserole, and now I'm hungry. So it's snack time for me. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't say give it a try because chances are you have. So just enjoy it. Tell the story at Thanksgiving of where it came from and who made it and how it got to be in the mainstream. It's something to talk about. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming to YesterKitchen. And as always, remember, history's never tasted so good.